guys, welcome back to another midweek episode. Today we're going to be running through why we chose the Prado and also why we've chose to tow a hybrid off-road caravan. So a few things we need to go through to explain ourselves there, so let's bloody get into it. I think that the Prado is a very good touring vehicle. Is one, just for the badge itself. Toyota are one of the most popular vehicles on the road today, and with that comes with a few benefits, such as parts are readily available in most country towns. So for us, we just finished the Gibb River Road and did a few river crossings over the bonnet, and our starter motor carked it because water and starter motors don't get on well. And we went into Kununurra, and there you have it. There was a starter motor on the shelf. There was no other starter motors on the shelf apart from the one that fits this car. And it also fits a Toyota HiAce. So we've chucked that in and away we go. We didn't have to wait 6 weeks like everyone else to get parts in. Toyota quoted us, I think it was $1,500 and a 6-week wait, and we just walked into one mechanic shop that had it right on the shelf. So that's one of the reasons why we rate the Prado so highly. Another reason is fuel economy. So it is overlooked and it can make your trip around Australia very expensive if your fuel economy is crap. So with the Prado, we get about 11 litres per 100 kilometres when we're not towing. And when we're towing the hybrid off-road caravan, we're actually getting around 16 to 17 litres, which I think is pretty good considering some big V8s are actually using that when they're not towing. So I know a lot of people out there don't buy cars for fuel economy, but when you're doing a lap around Australia and you're trying to be on a budget, it does help a lot to have something that's actually running off the smell of an oily rag and it doesn't chew much juice. So that's another good thing about the Prado. Also, the Prado seems to have a lot of modifications that you can easily do to them. They are cheap, and like I said before, they are readily available at any ARB, Ironman, whatever you're going to throw at it. They've normally got parts there and there for you. So one of our biggest tick lists for getting a touring vehicle was being comfortable when you're on the road. Given that we do so many kilometres touring around Australia, it was very important for us to get a car that's very comfortable. So with the Prado, this is a GXL model, so obviously it's not the top of the Wazza Kakadu and it's also not the GX, it's somewhere in the middle. So the GXL still comes with cruise control, climate control, it still comes with all your safety features like ESP and stuff, which sometimes actually get you further off-road than you would think. It also comes with Bluetooth, cruise control, comfy seats. I could go on about the creature comforts. It's a very comfortable car. We can quite easily do 8 hours a day in this thing and not have a sore back because it has all the seat controls and whatnot. So that was very important for us. Another positive thing, probably the elephant in the room, it maybe is a real Land Cruiser and maybe it isn't depending on what your opinion is, but the Prado actually can fit a lot of shopping trolleys worth of bags in the back, and when you're actually coming into the supermarket car park, you can go up on the curb, straddle it. You can do like a little check turn as well on top of the curb. You're not going to do a CV, it's perfect for that. That's also why I fitted 33s to it. And we'll go on to why Sarah enjoys the Prados as well.
For me, the Prado has always been my dream car. I mean, I'd love to have a 200 series, but it's a bit unrealistic for me. So I decided I'd put my dream car as the good old Prado. So I don't really have much of a reason that it's my dream car. I literally just like the way they look. So superficial, but yeah, having the Prado, it's sick. I love it.
Another reason why we love the Prado for touring around Australia is because from factory it comes with a 150 litre diesel tank, which is quite big considering it's from factory and you don't need to upgrade that. And the 120 Prados actually come with 180 litres, so I don't know what it is about Prados, but they love putting big diesel tanks in them, which is great for range. And also the car itself is quite narrow, so tracks like these that we're on now, you can navigate and not scratch your car because it does fit down the middle of the track, where if you go a slightly bigger car, slightly wider, you will touch the sides and you will get a lot more pinstripes. Even though we do have a lot of pinstripes already on the Prado, I reckon we'd have even more if we had a different car, so that's another reason why we love this car. Another good thing about the Prados is they come out of the factory with a fair bit of flex. You don't actually have to do too much to them to make them articulate pretty well on the tracks, and that's exactly what this car's really set up for down south where I'm from. So this is the sort of thing that it can get up to pretty much straight from factory. Anyway, enough about the pros, let's start talking a bit about the cons. So I've popped the bonnet and I'm having a look at the 1KD engine that comes in the Prado, and there's a few reasons why I think that maybe this is a con for this car. So I've touched on all the positives. Firstly, the 1KD engine, they're great engines as long as you do regular servicing on them and you look after them. So injectors on these vehicles are prone to blowing and going, and injector seats also as well. So there's a few things that you have to look out with these cars, as well as the intake manifold clogging up with all your soot and blow-by through the EGR valve. So there's a few things you need to look at. Another thing that I'll touch on too is the fact that this car can only tow 2.5 tonne legally. So these are capped at 2.5 tonne towing, and the GVMs on these cars aren't very high. With a 3 tonne GVM, we're finding it, we're very close to GVM when we're fully loaded, so that's definitely a con about this vehicle. And yeah, so we can't tow a big van and we can't really load it up, especially once you bolt bull bars, roof racks, bigger steel rims, bigger tyres, all that jazz. You start pushing really close to your GVM. So a lot of people out there with this vehicle will actually be over GVM, especially when they hook up their 22-foot Jayco caravan and tow it down the road. While I'm on the engine, these vehicles are very fuel economical, but given that, they do not have a lot of power when you're towing. So for us, this is a stock engine. We haven't done anything to it apart from add a Safari snorkel and a 3-inch Manta turbo backed exhaust. And for us personally, we didn't want to make this engine unreliable, but given that we haven't chipped and tuned it, we do have a power issue. So sometimes when the hills are very steep and long, we do lose a lot of momentum going up these hills, and that's something that definitely there's a con about the Prados. They don't have a lot of power. So they certainly do the job though, and we love our car and we definitely drive it within its capabilities, but that is definitely something that sort of isn't the best thing about this car. It's the fact that you need to keep the 17-inch rims. So generally speaking, I like to be able to make the rims as small as possible so you can have as much rubber as you possibly can. However, with the Prados, they do have big brakes, so 17-inch rims on the 150 Prado are minimum, I believe. So yeah, that's also not a very good thing as well. So without flapping the gums any too much more about the Prado, let's move on to why we chose a hybrid off-road caravan to tour Australia in.
Okay, so originally we were looking at all secondhand stuff and, like I said, looking for very basic. Then we did find a hybrid camper online that suited pretty much everything we wanted, and then it did have the luxuries like toilet, shower, aircon, and it wasn't extras, so it was all included in the one price. So we thought, well, why the hell not? We may as well go new, get a warranty, and like have all of those luxuries. So
anyway, that's what we thought. We won't dive into the issues that we've been having, but
after.
yeah, we'll talk about that another day.
So we were looking at 13 foot and 11 foot. Ideally, we wanted the 13 foot. Like, we thought we'd love to have a little seating area and a table, but because of the Prado and the towing capacity in GVM, we had to go with the 11 foot, which didn't have a seating area.
Which tear was about 1,800, and then we could have 700 odd kilos payload, but as everyone knows as everyone knows, if you do your research on hybrid off-road caravans, generally they have a massive water carrying capacity. So once you fill them tanks up, you're actually weighing it up a lot. So you lose your payload, pretty much half your payload right there and then. Chuck a fridge in it with food and all this other stuff, you're looking at your payload. So the only bad thing about the hybrids, all I can say, is that the payload does fill up really quickly, but it is also a good thing that you can carry all that water as well.
And we went with the pop top, so pretty much we didn't have as much wind drag. The camper was smaller behind the car, and 11 foot pretty much meant that wherever the car goes, the van goes as well. Like, we pretty much got to drag that thing anywhere.
Even down tracks that weren't caravan tracks that people would go with their camper trailer, we could get it with our little mini caravan. So that was the perfect size for us, 11 foot. And I reckon in some instances, if you had have had that 13 foot, that extra 2 foot would have held you back. It was literally that tight. So yeah, thank God we had the 11 in some situations.
For us, pretty much, we've decided to go like from the rooftop tent to a caravan simply because we wanted to be more comfortable. Like, there's absolutely no way we would have lasted this long in a rooftop tent.
Yeah.
It sounds soft, but...
It does sound soft, but it's one of those things, if you want to spend a long time on the road and you don't want to get sick of it, you might as well be comfortable. And that's our probably biggest advice to anyone that ever asks us, like, what should we get to go around Australia? We just say, what do you like to do? What camping styles do you like to do? Do you like creature comforts? And how long do you plan on being on the road? And
think about small things like needing to go to the toilet at night. Do you want to climb down from the top of your roof to go to the toilet however often?
That's the biggest one,
Yeah, everything. So you've got to think about day-to-day life things, toilet, cooking, food, like what do you do every day? What do you enjoy? What makes you comfortable? And then put that into your setup. So for us, it was a hybrid caravan.
Yeah.
If we were to do it again, we would go second hand. We thought that buying brand new, having a warranty would be perfect. However, getting warranty issues dealt with this company has been extremely hard, and it's been just disappointing. Like, this was a big purchase for us, like a lot of money. So for it to be such a hassle, it's almost not worth it. We kind of wish we just went second hand, but
because you're paying less the price, obviously. And
all of these issues would have been ironed out already.
Yeah, but that's a different point. We'll talk about that later. But pretty much, essentially, people say to us, like, why did you go a hybrid off-road caravan? And the answer is purely right now, we are standing in WA, almost pushing into summer months, and it is raining. So when people say, oh yeah, you chase the sun anyway, so you don't need like a rooftop tent or a swag will be fine. Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll get you through. But if you want to be comfortable, don't think it's going to be sunshine, rainbows and unicorns every day, because it definitely isn't. The weather is super unpredictable, and even wind in a rooftop tent.
Over here.
So WA is the windiest state, I reckon, personally. Not that we have travelled the rest of Australia, but from what we hear, WA is super windy compared to everywhere else. So be prepared when you come here. We think the best thing to do is get a hybrid off-road caravan or
like
a caravan or a camper. Anything that you can escape the elements. So
our mates, Bush and Beach Australia, Shane and Jody, they've got like a, what is that, a Penrite camper?
Campwright. Penrite's oil.
They have a Campwright. That's a really cool little camper.
Yeah,
right?
it's a G6 or a T6 or something, and it sleeps 6 people, and it takes them the same amount of time it takes us to set up our hybrid. So
something like that would be perfect, and theirs is like half the size, not even. It's tiny. So
do your research, know the person that you are, and also know the sort of camping you want to be doing and the stints that you want to be off grid for. So that's pretty much all we have on the hybrid off-road caravan, guys, and the Prado, and why we've chosen it. I've run through some of the reasons why we did choose the Prado, and also some of the cons of owning this vehicle. Like Sarah said, it's her favourite dream car, which is putting the bar pretty low. So anyway, one day we'll sell the Prado. We'll either get another Prado 200 series. I personally would love a Troopy, but we'll see where it takes us. This Percy girl's still got a few Ks left in her, so we'll keep running her for a little bit longer until...
Percy.
No, anyway, thanks heaps for watching, guys. Like always, we do have 10% off these buggers. If you do buy one of their products, use our code SK10. You will be also getting a good product that's discounted, plus you'll be supporting the channel. So all the support goes a long way, guys. If you did like this video and want to see more, like and subscribe. Also, don't be afraid to drop us a comment, because we love hearing from you. We always reply to your comment.
Even when you mean.
Yeah, even if you drop us an emoji, we'll send you one right back. So we love hearing from you folks. Please write us a comment so we can write one back to you. and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for watching.
Woo. That's it.